Thanks for joining us once again for an update from the City of New Hope. Mayor Kathi Hemken with us once again. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. Just fine. A little warm, but fine.
Yes, a little toasty out there, but I hear the humidity is supposed to break, so we'll look forward to that. We've got a lot to talk about this week to keep you up to date in the City of New Hope. Begin with St. Teresa. A lot of talk about some activity to be happening there, some planning going on. Bring us up to date. What's the latest discussions?
Well, St. Teresa came to us with really a big major renovation plan. Well, then they were contacted from their lenders wanting a survey done on whether or not they were able to staff this new facility. And so St. Teresa decided to pull back their application, and they're going to do a study. As everybody knows, they're really short of getting people to work. They want to make sure there's enough workers to be able to sustain that. And so they'll do a study. Well, so they've pulled the application, but we're pretty sure they're going to bring it back in 3 or 4 months. The reason they pull it, because from the time they apply until the project or piece of the project is complete, there's a time frame on that. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to be sitting there with that time frame when nothing's happening, but they're doing an internal study. So it'll come back. They haven't given up on us. It's just they've got a little more work to do on their side before they do anything.
Very good. All right. More to come on that. Now to community development news, a lot to talk about here. The first is the sale of THC products. You wanted to explain a little bit of what that means and some of the information that's been in the news here lately.
So first, I'm going to read the statement because you won't believe it. Okay. On July 1st, a new state law went into effect that legalizes the sale of CBD products containing THC. Okay. So CBD is the non-intoxicating part of the marijuana plant. And THC is an extract from that plant. So think about it as gummies, chewables. It's a liquid, but it's cannabis. It is part of the marijuana plant. So there's that. So we're working with the League of Minnesota Cities and our legal department because we need to make sure that the restrictions that are in place are the right restrictions. Mm-hmm. And so some of the restrictions, that comes later. Anyway, there are some things that are already there, and that's the sale of the edible products are limited to those over 21, and that's already in place. Edible packaging must meet the state standard, and that's in place. And packaging must be consistent with the state requirements. So with that all in place, what they're looking at now is the legal part, is the zoning, the licensing, prohibition, enforcement, how we're actually going to handle that, and the public safety concerns. So there's lots of stuff going on, even though the state law says we will sell that, we will be able to sell that.
Right.
We want to make sure we've got the right things in place to do that. And the League of Minnesota Cities, their attorneys are working with our attorneys to make sure that we've got everything in place in the right spot.
Very good. All right. And many other cities, I'm sure, in that same spot. More news in community development. Let's talk about some of the monthly single family conversions to rental and some going the opposite way. What are the latest numbers for the year?
So in June, there were 2 owner-occupied houses that went to rental. But for 2022, there's been 13 owner-occupied that have gone to rental and 6 rentals that have gone back to owner-occupied. That's a pretty common trait that happens because a lot of people go south for the winter and then they rent their houses out. Mm-hmm. And we require that they get a rental license to do that. And so this goes back and forth. It's not like the whole city's turning into rental property. It goes back and forth.
But something the city keeps an eye on. Let's talk about the Rave Awards. We've mentioned those a number of times, and the deadline is fast approaching. So you need some neighbors out there in New Hope to get out there and nominate others.
We do. We've only got 1 nomination so far. We've got till the 22nd of July. And the Rave Award is meant for people who have spent the extra effort and time and money to either fix the inside or the outside of their houses to make it more appealing. And so we just want to honor people who are doing that. You can nominate yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you can nominate the neighbor. Along with that, I want to tell people we're still doing that curbside program where you can get reimbursed if you do some work on your house. The minimum amount of reimbursement is $1,000, and it's 25% of the project that you'll be reimbursed for. So if you're doing some project before you start, it'd be handy if you called City Hall, the community development guys, and say, what are the guidelines, and you can get some money back. So you should probably apply for it.
Sounds great. And again, get more information about the Rave Awards and that program for the curbside appeal. City of New Hope website, newhopemn.gov. Let's talk now about a golf event coming up that's an annual favorite for people in the area. Who's golfing and who can get involved?
Well, this is the 25th annual golf tournament. It started as Twin West Chamber of Commerce with the cities of Crystal and New Hope. Well, the Twin West is now Minneapolis Chamber, and pretty much it's just the Crystal New Hope Chamber, or the Crystal New Hope Golf Tournament, and that's the 23rd of September. So there's a big, long website you can go to. I typed in Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce /golf, and I got the website. But if you have some trouble with that, you can call Jeff Elger, and his number is 763-531-5119. And Jeff will walk you through the registration.
Very nice.
I want to say it's $50 or $55 to play, and that includes a round of golf, 9 holes at New Hope, and lunch, and some prizes, and a little program afterwards. So it's really a fun thing, and it fills up quickly, and that's the 23rd of September.
Fantastic. And it's at that beautiful course you see right behind the mayor there. So you can plan your shots accordingly as you watch our program here. Scattered site housing. Let's give folks an update. We have 4 properties to talk about. We begin at 42nd in Boone. Some work happening still there on the former Treehouse property. What's next in that process?
So we're using that property to train right now. And on the 20th of July, our SWAT team is going to be there. It's not open to the public, but the only reason I'm telling people is because if they happen to see the SWAT vehicles there, it's not that there's a problem, that they're just training there. This is a wonderful place for them to train. And since we own the property now, it's a good thing to do. So as soon as that's done, then they'll make sure that all the asbestos and things are moved from the house, if there are any, and then you'll start seeing the demolition of the treehouse.
Next property to update is 46th and Aquila, and I understand the closing has happened here.
Woohoo! We sold it. We sold
Yes.
it. It did. It closed for $460,000. We're really excited about that. So that's that one's done. There's one on 52nd in Pennsylvania. That house is going to close on the 22nd of July, and then the lot on 5306 Rhode Island, that has closed, and now the developer will start building on that lot.
Very nice. One other item to update you on in community development is the meeting of the business networking group. They've got a meeting coming up on the 20th. Again, where is that and at what time?
It's 3 o'clock at Pocket Square. That's the old Mountain Mud. And it usually lasts an hour, hour and a half. Lots of good information, but there's something special happening at this one. Kevin Tiffany, that's the guy who owned Country Kitchen, has been invited, and he's coming as a special guest.
Great.
And we're really excited. It's a chance to say goodbye to Kevin, thank him for all he's done for the community, and just wish him the best in his retirement. So if you've got nothing better to do at 3 o'clock, come over to the business networking group. It's free to come, and it's always a good time, and you'll learn a lot.
Very good. July 20th is the date of that event. Once again, let's talk about some projects happening around the city. It is road construction time, as you might know. And so tell us about some new asphalt that is down, and things are really wrapping up on some of the projects.
Well, on Independence Avenue, north of Bass Lake Road, so they call it a lift when they put down the first layer of asphalt. I call it a layer of asphalt, but the technical term is lift. So that first layer is down. They have to wait for it to cure. This week, I think they'll try to put that second layer down. It's weather dependent, and I don't know if that means if it's too hot, they can't lay it, or if it's rainy. I don't know all the details of that, but they're going to try to put that down. And then they're also going to mill and overlay 59th Avenue. Okay. Once those 2 projects are done, then they'll start on the restoration part of it. Because whenever you do a road construction thing like this, the grass and the boulevards get kind of torn up, so they go back and do some restoration. Got to remind people, though, that they have to water this.
Okay.
If they put in a seed or something, I think somebody comes by and waters it once or twice, and after that, it's up to you. And so if you water it a lot, you'll get grass.
Yep. Good to know. All right.
If you don't, you'll get weeds.
That is true. All right, let's move ahead to Park and Rec and talk about some of the activities going on. And I know two of the groups from the city of New Hope were in the parade in Robbinsdale. You wanted to mention the dance team, and also Off-Broadway Music Theater was there as well. So tell us about the dancers in a parade.
Wow. Well, we have a wonderful dance program and we have some really polished dancers. So they were dancing in the parade. I didn't know that the Off-Broadway group were there. They're going to do Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and that should start on the 21st of July, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And the play starts about 9 o'clock. And they're asking for a $4 donation. If you can't afford it, they don't really press it. But they do need some help financially to get the rights to the play.
Yeah, great group there, and some fun to be had outdoors under the stars in New Hope. And again, the dance group did have many of their big national championship banners hanging from their float, so it was good to see them come through the parade. Let's talk about softball coming up here, and you've got something for people watching this in the early stages of it. There's a tournament coming up this weekend. Who's behind it now, and where does it take place?
Well, it used to be the Duck Duck Days tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, Duck Duck Days kind of got canceled, and then it become Heydays. And well, Pup 42 have taken over the softball tournament.
Okay.
And that's going to be the 15th to the 17th. And most of it will be played, it'll all be played in the New Hope parks at different times. So I think you just have to either go online or go to the park and see who's playing. So they're getting ready for that. Well, as you can imagine, they have to get the umpires ready. They have to do all the paperwork, so they show the status of the teams that have played. Lots of work to be done by the city staff and Pub 42 that's sponsoring it. So that's just another thing that's happening this weekend.
Yeah, great to see them step forward and help out. Speaking of things happening, how about at the golf course? What's the latest activity there?
Well, there's a fundraiser, a baseball fundraiser there last Saturday, and they played golf. And then on Sunday they had it rented. Well, now the leagues are playing, and of course people are playing golf all the time. But you'll see some folks out putting chemicals in the pond to try to kill the weeds a little bit, and then they'll be spraying the greens with antifungal stuff.
All
Just
right.
want to tell people, when you put your tea in the ground, don't then put it in your mouth. And you would be amazed. You'd be amazed at how many people do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually have a problem with lip cancer from golf players because they put their tea in their mouth. So don't put it in your mouth. Put it in your pocket, or
all right,
put it somewhere. But
helpful advice from the mayor here in your golf game. Let's go over to the ice arena. How are things going there? As it's hot outside, but nice and cool inside.
It's nice and cool inside, and they're busy as can be. So now all the camps are up and running and doing well. And so the ice arena it's not quite as busy as it was, but it's pretty busy. And of course, they're scheduling the fall and winter ice schedules right now too.
And over to the swimming pool we go. The aquatic park, of course, has been busy as ever. How are things going there? I understand lessons moving along, and also a weekend to keep in mind here that there's going to be some other activity going on at the pool.
Yeah, there is. So this is the third session of lessons, and that's going on. And of course, we're still renting the pool out in the mornings now for the swim teams, and in the afternoons, the swimming's open. But on the 15th, 16th, and 17th is a big regional tournament. And part of the thing was when we got the money for the pool, both from the state and the swim teams, that was part of the agreement that they would let them use it for one full weekend where they just take over the whole pool. So, we have 8 lanes, 8 50-meter lanes. That was not originally in our plan, but because of that money coming from the state, we were able to do this. So I hate to do it on a hot weekend like this, and we don't have any choice, but they do have the right to do that under contract. So there'll be no farmers market. There'll be no food truck Friday. You're going to have to go to the baseball games, or the softball games, because that's about all that's going to be happening.
Sounds good. All right, head to another part of town to enjoy some activities, but the pool will be back the next week. We wanted to mention the website, some information just going up on the site about a car seat clinic. Tell us more about this and why it's important for people to maybe come to.
Well, years ago, Nicole Korth would do a clinic on how to properly install a car seat. If this car seat isn't properly installed, it really doesn't do you a lot of good. You really want to protect that little one from that. So that's gonna happen on the 19th of July. If you're interested in that, call the non-emergency number at the police department, and they'll get you Brad Callio, and he'll be running that clinic. I don't know if he's doing it all at once, or is he just letting people come in that day? If you're interested in doing that, call the police department, and they'll help you with that.
All right. Just enough time for a final note here, and we want to talk a little bit about that sticker that you're wearing there proudly. You have been out voting, and you want to encourage residents to get out and voting. What are some of the guidelines and thoughts need to keep in mind for the absentee process?
So, a few years ago, they changed that process so you could vote early and you didn't have to have a reason. You didn't have to say you're out of town or you're sick. So if you're not registered, you need to bring either a picture ID like a driver's license, or a passport would work too. But you need something with not only your face, but your address on it.
Okay.
So if you don't have a license, and you've got something with your face on it, you can bring a bill to your house. What they're trying to do is see the face, see the signature, see the address to make sure you're in the right place. So it's really easy. You go to City Hall, you fill out the absentee ballot, and then or you register, and then you fill out a thing to get the ballot. They'll give you the ballot, you fill it out right there, put it in an envelope and put it in a box to them. So now if you don't want to go in, you can call City Hall and they'll mail a application out to you, as well as the ballot. It's a two-step process. So it'll take a little while longer, but if you just go into City Hall and vote, and this primary, and that's what this is the primary. The primary is the 9th of August. And so after I think about the 5th or 6th of August, you can actually put your ballot into the machines then.
Okay.
But right now you just fold it up and you put it in an envelope, and that'll be read into the machines closer to the 9th of August time.
Very good. All right. The city's website, great place to go to find out more information about the information needed for voting, and also those that are on the ballot. And again, more information about that to come. Mayor, thank you once again for all of the information today. And we will leave you in just a second here with a look at some other things happening in the city. There's a lot on the calendar here as we head through July and into August. Mayor, have a great week. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Dave. See you next week.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.